Hey, and welcome back to the world of Empyreus. In this video, we'll go over my thought process when designing the God Emperor. He is a holy figure humanity worships and is the one true God. He is the head of the Hermeticus Empyreus, which is the religion in this world. The Hermeticus is a very influential religious organization which has their hands in the government, military, and even everyday lives of the people. The military are the enforcers of his rule and faith. The Hermeticus and Militarum could be seen as a singular entity. Every military action has a religious intention behind it, and vice versa. As you can see, his uniform resembles more of a military uniform, and I didn't really mind that for this rendition because perhaps during this time, actually, during the main story, what happens is he's at war, so his uniform, his clothing would change depending on the situation the world is in. I looked at the design of Nazi uniforms as they seemed as a good starting point to convey imperialism in fashion alone. I also looked at 19th century British uniforms and modern royal uniforms, and back and forth between 19th century royal uniforms too. I liked the sleek and a bit minimalistic design of their uniforms because it conveyed order. The braided knot on his shoulder and to his chest were also inspired by the royals in our world. The equilates, I'm not sure if I'm actually pronouncing it right, but I'll put a picture up, were added to convey his rank in the military as well as medals on his chest. His crimson cloak was also meant to convey a sort of elegance to him. I think it distinguishes him apart from the rest of the military and religious officials. Golden trims were just a must. I always felt gold signified wealth and power, so it made the sense to me, at the time at least, to add trims and pattern designs made from gold. The pattern design was meant to symbolize his iconic flames you see in his hand of the Empyrean, but also his red flames of power. If you look closely, the medals are skulls. To me, nothing screams evil more than medals that are skulls. Perhaps these are achievements he had received during his service in the military. Maybe he had to lead soldiers directly into battle, showcase superior tactics. These are left up to interpretations for now, but eventually I'll go into more detail about the military and how the entire system works in there. This could also prompt me to create a new concept for the Emperor. Now I think would be a good time to move on to the lore of the God Emperor and who he is. I hope you guys will enjoy a bit of this lore. I got a lot to work on, but this is what I have for now. Thank you. In the 3rd century, a boy, Kiri, was born. 21 years later, he was crowned Relis Vestis Lars, the 3rd God Emperor, Messiah of mankind, and the young prince. Tragically, Vulcan, his older brother by 18 years, died during the Inheritus Praxis, which is a ritual to transfer the Emperor's powers to their heir. When the powers were bestowed upon Vulcan, it rejected him. Kiri recounts his brother spiraling into madness when he was touched by the power. Kiri was then named heir after his brother relinquished the claim. Kiri's name would be forgotten, and from now on be known as Relis III, after his father, God and Emperor. During his reign in the first millennium and a half, Relis grew more suspicious of his lords and council plotting against him. This heresy was not uncommon amongst the powerful lords. They had forgotten who their master truly was. Every emperor before had also dealt with rebellions. He couldn't blame them. Humans are rebellious creatures. the entire empire was built on a rebellion led by Reles I. Reles deployed his spies to uncover who the conspirators were. His spy unit comprised of an unlikely duo: the royal cat, Lewin, who did not like others' company, and a peculiar owl with a torso of a malnourished man, a baby's head, and eyes with no lid. Reles referred to it as Lucis. Lewin was tasked with spying on lords who currently reside or are visiting the capital city. Lucis was tasked with flying east, starting with the Crozak province, ruled by the House Hargrove from the ancient impenetrable fort Har. But Reles did not suspect them because of their strong ties with the royal family dating back to the Holy War, but also his strong friendship with their great-grandfather, Lord Ishi, and his daughter, who he wed. Lucis continued in further east of Crozak towards the coast, where lords of House Overrim reside. They controlled the largest salt mine and dozens of off-coast islands with sulfur deposits. The castle and its town, surrounded by defensive stone walls, would be gated off by any visitors. Their pier would be shut, but the people still lived normally within the walls. Strange, Lucis thought, but after investigating the town, in the castle's courtyard stood a hade figure serpent. The figure stood high, overlooking a torn-down statue of Reles II. Lucis saw members of House Overrim and its townfolk knelt down and worshipping the serpent and praying to it. This was unexpected. No rebellion was built on a new faith. This was heresy to the highest degree. Thus, Lucis promptly delivered this message to Reles. Lewin had also reported in. A rebellion led by the Archbishop and joined by some council members planned to overthrow the Emperor and take his powers to be worshipped themselves as gods. Reles would fight in a war of 3 fronts: the war at the Ripple, the Overrim faith, and the Court of Rats. Reles announced the Overrim's newfound faith to the council: the mobilization of reserve soldiers and a battalion from House Hargrove to siege the Overrim castle and burn its lands. Reles' declaration of war wrote, "Thou hast offended me, and my Empyrean. Thine heresy shall be met with flame and wrath. There is only one true God." Lewin was tasked with monitoring those individuals associated with the Archbishop's plot and discreetly assassinate them. Lucis was tasked with monitoring the Archbishop, diligently observing any actions that could further his plot. He would be dealt with after the war. So began the Militarum's march to the east to join their brothers from Hargrove, who are already in a bloody battle. Alright, that's going to be the end of this video. I'll let the rest of this time lapse play out so you guys get to see the full process I had of rendering this concept art. I hope you guys enjoy and tune in next time for the next character. Let me know if you would prefer shorter videos or longer videos like this. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.